Yeah, I got a lawn.
I know you got a lawn, but why are you watering grass? Then you got to cut it. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. I was wondering how long you guys were going to talk.
I saw it
Sneaky.
go live. I would have kept going.
That's good. That was very sneaky.
Yeah. Well, I was ready to mute everybody, so I had to. Good morning, everybody. Glad you could be here this morning. I asked Allie to come on this morning and tell us about what I was trying to show you last week. So we'll see if we can get that done. I don't know if we can or not, but we'll try that. She can tell us about it anyway. But anyway, before we get too far into it, Steve, why don't you get the list over here?
All righty. Good morning, everyone. We got everybody's popping in. We got CB&Q in Wyoming. Good morning, Mark Pruitt, Stephen Wigwag, John Tanzillo, Ethan Armitage, I can't say that anyway.
Armitage.
Wilka River Valley John, Thomas Moore, Bill Steve, welcome to the show. Did I say Rob T-Man? We got Uncle Wilmer. Hello, Uncle Wilmer. Welcome to the show.
Wilmer. Good to see you.
John Dawson, John Grandpa. Did I miss anybody?
Probably.
Anyway, good morning, everybody.
Excuse me while I clean my glasses. I can't see anything through these. Oh, anyway, it's good to see everybody this morning.
How's everybody?
Dennis is at his family reunion this week, so he's not here. But Jerry's back with us, and then Allie joined up with us. Oh, you turned? Oh, no, okay. You got your phone turned that way.
It was a bit easier to hold it this way.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to have Allie tell us about her club layout and some of the pictures. Let me see if I can get some of those pulled up here.
You should be able to right-click on most of those and download them or save them.
There you go, back here. Well, talk amongst yourselves, and I'll see about going back and finding that.
I've got nothing to say.
Nothing to say?
He's done his bit. He's done.
Allie, what scale is your club?
Rob T-Man looks like 5 of the most wanted in the post office bug shots. Claude, Gary, and Steve.
Only if you're up here, Rob.
Morning, Dave. Yes,
what scale is your club layout?
Our club is actually a fairly unique club. We have multiple scales and prototypes. We've got British, we've got American, we've got Australian, and, all in different scales. We've got garden scale, we've got O scale,
really,
HO00, and, of course, our club one, which is S scale, or the exhibition one, the one that Claude's trying to pull up now.
Is it all in one building?
Yes, it's all one building, but it's basically started as one room, and then an extension added to it, and then a workshop added to it. It's sort of grown.
It's pretty cool. Is it open to the public?
Well, we just had an open day today, actually, and we got another one in August on the 26th. So if you're in Western Australia, come down to the club, 24 Moojibing Street, Bayswater, on the 26th? Yeah, 26th of August is the next one.
Do you know Artie?
Who?
Awesome American.
Yes. Yes. I don't know him personally, but I know of him.
Are you kind of like in the same?
No, I think he's in New South Wales.
I don't know where he is. Okay.
Yeah. I've got a feeling he's in New South Wales, which is pretty much as far as you can get on the opposite side of the country without leaving Australia.
Okay.
That's like comparing New York to California.
Wow, that far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, let's see if I can do this right quick.
Steve, what are you munching on? Bagel? bagel.
Nothing like what Dennis is. He's at a big barbecue breakfast at his vacation.
He needs to send some pictures in of all the food that he's eating.
Yeah.
Send some pictures, Dennis.
Gail probably will.
Is that a blueberry bagel?
Yep. Breakfast of champions.
That's good stuff. Yeah.
Dennis says cowboy breakfast.
Yeah, he was having cowboy breakfast this morning. Well, where'd it go?
Right time over there?
Oh my goodness.
He's looking at it.
I've been thinking I'd have done this ahead of time.
Nobody said good morning. Anybody
You
new?
should be able to find the YouTube link, Claude, and you should be able to stick that up at least.
Well, yeah, I've got the YouTube. Oh, the YouTube link. You got a YouTube link on it?
On that page, there's a YouTube link right at the bottom.
Oh, at the very bottom. Okay. Let me look here.
Thomas Moore, you say you're working on your layout and you're using 1950 Mark's black bass track. What is that?
Markland? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Mark's black bass track. I don't know what that is.
Set track? Is that what he's asking?
No, he says he's working on the layout and he's using 1950s Mark's black bass track.
Must be old. 1950s, before I was born.
Me too.
Oh, well.
Okay. Let's see if I can do this. YouTube. It's still questionable. Let me stop that. Yeah, I found the YouTube video, so we'll see if we can put it on here.
The YouTube video should be us running trains at the exhibition that we held over the June long weekend, which for us was the 4th, 5th, and 6th of June. It's the King's birthday long weekend, or WA Day.
Okay, now let me get back to my other page. Make it big. Do that right there. That looks a little better, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now the sound's not going to come through probably,
That's fine. There's
but
probably
I'll let you narrate.
yeah. There's not really any narration on this video anyway. It's just some of these locos do have sound and some don't. That outside track that you're looking at now was DC, and the inside track was DCC. So yeah, you've got a Westland going that way. That was Paul Tranter's Westland.
That's a pretty neat idea to do that.
Yeah, well, the beauty about this station was pretty much every train that went out to the country went through this suburban station. And those footbridges that were typical of the WHR, they were fairly standard. And that's the flour mill. That burnt down in 1975.
Are these buildings kit bashed?
No, these are completely scratch built from card and styrene.
Okay.
And there were no plans, so most of this was done by photographs and what do they call it? Drawings from top down, Google Earth sort of stuff.
That's pretty cool how it's going in that building on the.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
I keep pointing at the screen, and you guys can't see where I'm pointing. But on that far side with the big sign that says Peerless, that's a wheat storage bin, and the other side is the flour mill itself.
Okay.
Now this is a
now this particular this what we're looking at though this is what you take when you go to shows.
Yes, yeah. It's 15 meters long. I'm not sure how much that is in feet.
That'd
But
be about 30 feet, a little bit more, a little bit more than 30
and
feet.
it's close to scale. I think the only thing that was really compromised was the length of the platform. It's a little bit shorter than what it probably really was.
And
the rest of it should be close to scale.
What is scale for you guys?
1:64.
So is it like N scale?
It's between S and O, basically.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it's between HO and O. It's S
Yeah.
scale. So S scale is 1:64.
Oh, that's a nice shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Looks real.
Yeah.
Well, we were kind of going from photos, so we tried to copy photos in as many angles as possible. That house in the background there is the old station master's house. It was beautifully built in the full four corners and that, but we had to cut it, and it was a huge issue for us because we didn't want to chop up such a beautiful building, but in the end we had to chop it up so we could get it to fit in that space, because that skyboard was, the whole layout's quite narrow.
Yeah. So what do they just have like fiddle yards at each end of this?
No, it's a complete loop. So there's a fiddle yard on the opposite side, about the same length as the whole layout.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wow.
So at each end they have a return and go to a fiddle yard at the opposite side where all those people are standing on.
Back on the left there.
Yeah, on the left of that shot, or right
How
of this.
big Allie, how big is the building that?
Well, this is an exhibition hall at the showgrounds. Not sure the exact size of this building, but there were a lot of other layouts there as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's got to be huge.
It is quite big.
Your era? What's your era?
1960s.
Okay.
1966. This whole area changed when they added the standard gauge. 1966 to 69. And that's when the Indian Pacific started in 1970, and big name trains like that came to Perth.
And I apologize to chat if you guys are asking questions. I can't see chat right at the moment because this is
They're talking about football.
Yeah.
football. Football?
Foosball. Foosball.
Foosball.
No, football.
Football.
But things like that lamp in front of you there, the station building, those telegraph poles, all scratch built.
The tarp loads. The tarp loads look cool.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I like those tarps covering
Those look very
the
realistic.
guns.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Those
Now-
ones, aluminium foil.
So,
Foil.
Aluminum.
is that what they used? Aluminum foil.
Yeah, the stuff
Yeah.
line-
Yep. No, yeah. I've never seen that before. That's pretty cool. Now, do individuals own all the cars?
Yeah, so all the wagons are owned by the members.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. None of my stuff got to run on this because my stuff doesn't fit the era. My stuff's more modern.
And you guys have a YouTube page?
Oh, that's a good shot.
Well, this is a YouTube video by one of our members.
Okay. I have to check it out.
See, that's not a bad shot. That shows you pretty much the full length of the layout.
Yeah, I like those. What do you call those powered cars down there?
Little DMUs.
DMUs, you call them?
They were actually a Bud design. Or
Yeah,
copy of
okay. Yeah, they look like a Bud car from
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. They basically were Bud cars, but I think they're built in mid.
Okay. That's an awesome building right there.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Well, I like the fact that it's modular, but the scene is continuous. You
Yes.
see a lot of, all your in-track stuff and the free mode stuff. Each module's different. And so it's okay because you get to see a lot of different kinds of scenery, but it doesn't make one good cohesive look, in my opinion.
It's got all these. It's got a bunch of stories where this has one story.
Yeah.
It's like you can identify everything.
Hey, Claude, can you put up the link to this?
Yeah, I will here in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that
Just a little bit more, and then I'll put that up in the chat so everybody can go to it.
That flour mill was supposed to be one of our feature buildings, and it was probably the last thing made. Unfortunately, it was kind of coming up to the exhibition, and we kind of had to rush to get it all together, and it ended up being a team project, that one.
I kind of like how you guys cut the buildings, though, to get them fit at an angle.
Oh, they were actually built like that. The only one that was built like that was the station master's house.
Yeah, it looks good because they're not all square to the track.
No, that was the whole point of it, was it was supposed to be... Because if you look at the Google Earth and you follow the roads, they're actually square to the roads, but the track is not square to the road.
Yeah.
So that's why they're not square to the track.
So, Allie, on that flour mill, earlier, you were talking about it was backing in to do a switch move, and it goes into the building. Is that opened up on the back so that somebody can physically uncouple cars, or is that just more they pull it in and then wait a while and then pull back out?
Well, originally we were going to run it through the back seam, but that got a little bit too complex to do. So we've actually got magnets in the track, and we make sure that all our couplers are at standard KD coupler height, so the magnets actually work. And all you do is you pull forward over the magnet, separate the loco, and then push back with the couplers ajar, basically.
Yep. Nice.
And then when the loco comes back out again, it shouldn't recouple, in theory, unless your couplers are wrong.
Yeah. Now that looks nice. That's really cool to watch it doing that and to be able to physically leave a car. Adds to the realism.
That was the whole point of this layout, was it provided not only just non-stop trains running around in circles, but you had shunting ability as well.
Yeah.
And you could come on and off the main line. It had tortoise switch motors, so they were nice and realistic.
You know what's nice about this video is the angles that they're shooting at. They're like you're there, like you're a person standing at that crossing, watching that
always
train
aimed to try and be at that right height.
Yeah, I think that's like really important to do, and you kind of don't know if it's real or if it's a scene. You know.
Well, the only thing that puts it off is the giant people standing.
Yeah, the people. Everything else around it. But if that wasn't there, then you would kind of question.
Oh yeah, if you had this outside and nobody standing there, it would really look very real.
Yeah.
Well, it made a big difference that we had some lights there as well. There's actual artificial light above there, because if we didn't have artificial light, that would have
be dark,
ruined a lot of these shots.
Yeah.
And we had some like plexiglass on the front as well, but we took that off for the videos and the photos because the plexiglass is good to protect the small details from the public poking things like washing lines and stuff and fences, but yes, doesn't do good for photographs or videos.
What would be cool is if they set that up outside with natural light and the sky in the background. Then that would look really.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the moment, weather's not on our side for doing anything like that.
Might end up snow scene, huh?
Yeah. Did you have a good turnout for the event?
We broke even, put it that way, because we got record rains on the Monday, which was usually when we get a lot of families come in, and unfortunately, those record rains probably drove a few people out. We still had people coming in, but it wasn't great. But it wasn't too bad for our first exhibition since COVID.
Oh wow, it's been that long.
It's 3 years. Our last exhibition was 2019.
Well, that's
And we've
pretty
got
cool,
competing
Alex.
things going on as well.
Thanks
Yeah.
for showing that, or well, sending it to me or telling me how to get to it. And I'll put that link. Let me stick that link up here right quick. Get this
Link, please.
back up here where I can do it.
And if you go through the blog, when you hit home and you go through some of the other posts, some of them are from me. You should get update 1 through 6. I think there's 6 updates, and it shows progress of it being made and things like that. And you get a little bit of information about, it used to be called Woodbridge and used to be where the showgrounds was. And so there's a little bit of history in there as well.
Check that link. See if you can get to it from that link that I put up there.
No, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Okay, because that's what I was using. Hang on here a second.
If you Google WASN modeler, it's usually the first result that comes up.
Well, these people aren't going to Google, and I'm not going to Google either. There.
Okay, let's see here. Because I just put that in. Yeah, I put that in Google and it came up. So, well, it came up to, what did it come up to? It came up on a Google search. So let me get see if this is the YouTube link for it. I think this is it right here. Okay, this will be the actual YouTube link.
It might be easier doing it that way.
Yeah, that should work for you.
Yeah, that's it. Good job, Claude.
There again, Jerry, there's always somebody else who can do it better.
Oh, you did a great job.
What in the world is that?
Me?
Is someone trying to play that video?
Sorry, me.
Jerry.
Sorry.
So you got everybody's attention.
I had to subscribe to it so I could watch it later. Sorry.
Steve's sleeping.
No, I'm not. I'm looking.
Playing Tetris.
Okay, so tell us what your big adventure was last week or so.
Who, me?
Well, you're training, yeah. You were telling us before the show. Telling me before the show.
No, my big adventure was driving a field trip this last week with some Christian kids for my bus. That was fun.
Well, no, tell us about the broken part on your. I don't think you've told us on here.
No, because I just found out. I had the tender all apart because I was doing the plumbing, and when I had a derailment in Medford several weeks back, I did some damage to my drawbar pocket on the tender. I don't know if you can see that, but
Hang on a second.
Make it bigger.
let's see.
What's that made out of?
It's a cast hot metal or something. I don't.
Yeah, it does look like a casting.
But
Yeah.
anyway, that's what supports the drawbar bracket underneath the tender. Got the drawbar fits in here, and pin drops down from the top of the tender to hold the drawbar in. This little guy right here.
And this all comes with your truck when you buy your truck?
My truck. What do you mean?
I don't know. Where do you get that part at?
What,
Just
this?
mounted on your frame.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's on the front of the car, Jerry. Front of the tender.
Front of the tender. This part's the tender, and this part fits on the back of the locomotive.
I got you.
What happened is the pin drops down, and the only thing that holds the drawbar in was the bottom of this plate. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, so that's kind of like your knuckle?
Yeah. And
Oh.
railed, I broke this thing and didn't know it. And I drove all around Train Mountain the whole weekend with this little guy. And if this thing had failed completely, then this would have dropped out, and I'd have had a separation on my tender. So I'll show you.
What would happen if you had a separation? You don't have brakes, right? Like that car would just keep going.
I hate to think what would have happened.
So, like, not like a real train where you separate and brakes apply, nothing for you,
No.
right?
Well, see, the problem is that, I don't know if you can see it, but that plate fit underneath. I rebuilt the. I don't know if you can see this. This is kind of
Right there.
okay. And
Yeah.
that little plate,
He moves.
I don't know if you see that. That little plate fit right in there. It's kind of blurry.
Yeah, I see it there.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so the pin fits right.
Yeah, I see the pin.
Okay. And that goes through the body, the frame here, and then would drop down. This is right underneath here. I don't know.
Yeah. Now he had somebody following him up the mountain, so if it had separated, it at the very most would have rolled back to whoever was behind you.
Well, if it had separated, the only thing holding the thing together would have been the propane line and the
hoses.
lines. So, worst case scenario is it would have broke the propane line and everything, and the locomotive would have taken off by itself.
Yeah, because he wouldn't have been controlling it. That's true.
But the fire would have gone. It would have eventually stopped, but that could have been a huge problem. So anyway, I redid the drawbar. It's half-inch bar stock. This is kind of. You really can't see that.
I don't know, man. I think you need more safety features.
Well, there's really no place for a safety chain on it. But I think
that would have made good video. You
that
sitting on the tender with the locomotive taking off.
Now you made the new part yourself?
Yeah.
Any plans on making them for the rest of your rolling stock?
No, because everything else has got couplers. Anyway,
couplers and safety chains.
Yeah, so this is my new tank car.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it turned out nice.
I had to really read trucks. They had, no bearings or anything on them, and they were apart. So I kind of did that. And I've got, anyway, this is the drawbar that goes between the back of the tender, which fits right. I'm trying to move slow, back here.
Yeah, so that's the same setup you had on the front.
Right, yeah. I've got the knuckle on the back of the tank car that hooks to the
So is there a reason why you don't use couplers in place of that drawbar thing?
Well, yeah, because on the rear of the tender, this is what came with it. So it's got just a regular pin.
Okay.
It just comes right out.
Do most guys put couplers in that spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some guys, do drop, but you're required to have safety chains unless you have a solid drawbar. So, technically, I don't need a safety chain between the tender, the rear of the tank car. That's just a safety thing.
But if you had a coupler, you would need a safety chain?
You're right. Yeah. See, like
okay. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
So you got safety chain there.
How much are those little couplers?
Oh, they run about $40-$50 a piece.
Yeah, it'd be an expensive keychain.
something like that. But I've got
be a heavy keychain too.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, I've still got to put this.
Oh, that thing's big. Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got to put this one in here. You know, for
Are they machined or are they cast?
they're cast.
Okay.
Well, and then they machine the inside because they actually work like a real one.
Well, that's pretty cool.
So they do machine the inside of them.
Are they made in the U.S.?
Yeah, probably. I don't really know.
Yeah. That's
But,
pretty cool.
Steve, on your tank car, is that something that somebody can ride on?
Oh, if I took yeah, I guess they could.
You know, it'd be kind of cool to do.
I don't know if you want them plugs up your.
Well, no. You know what you do is that, that one would be for little kids, and you'd get a kid's horse's saddle and put it on top of that.
Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah.
Well, tank car comes off. I've got it set up with there's 4 bolts that come up from the bottom side. So that's
quickly. Yeah, take it off.
The tank comes off. And I've got a wood rack that actually sits on the caboose where this rides on. So that's actually how I'm going to carry it. The tank will come off because I can't fit it in the back of my truck with the tank on.
Right.
So I lift the tank off, before I load it up, and it'll ride on top of the caboose in the back of my truck.
Yeah.
And here's I got my cap with the dipstick.
Yeah, that's cool.
Bernard wants to see your coupler height gauge.
Does it have a drain to drain it?
No, not really. Just this, because when I'm done, I'll just pull the hose off and the water will drain out of it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
What was Bernard's question?
He said, show us your coupler height gauge.
I don't have one. And
well, hey, Steve, I had a question. Do you think maybe your crank that you add more pressure to that link?
Yes.
Might have caused that to break?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because cranking this thing down.
Here. What does that do?
Okay. Let me sit here.
It puts more tender weight on the linkage between, so it puts more pressure on the drive wheels of the locomotive.
So this guy cranks down. I see that. I've got
No, you're not gonna be able to see it.
Got a bracket right here.
I don't think I ever saw that part.
So yeah, Claude. Yeah, absolutely. That puts a whole lot of pressure on that little cast piece of metal.
Yeah.
Which was fine until I had all the weight on, cranked down, and when I derailed up in Medford, that snapped that thing. So I've got it. I rebuilt it. You can't really see it, but it's brass bar stock down there. So now I can crank this thing. Here, watch what happens on the wheel. That's with no pressure, and then if you lift it, I'm cranking it up.
Oh yeah.
Well, you can't really see it.
No, I saw your tender go up.
Here, watch.
Yeah, it would actually raise the tender up, but if he's sitting on it, that puts more down pressure on that link.
Yeah,
in turn puts down pressure on the drive wheels.
Yeah, and it does help, but you don't want to run around with it like that too much, because it takes the weight off these front trucks.
Right.
So, and I never did have anybody up at Train Mountain find my cap, so I don't know what I'm going to do. So what I did is this is just temporary until but anyway, it's got a dipstick too.
There you go, Jerry.
Yeah, a little expensive.
But yeah, I'm kind of happy with the way the tank car turned out.
Looks good.
Yeah, turned out good.
All right.
You going to letter it?
Oh, eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually, this thing's got to get lettered too.
I know that eventually part.
Yeah.
Grandiose plans.
So I do have a pig.
So do you have like, what are you going to put on the tender and the caboose? The same thing?
What?
Like, I don't know, Steve's Railroad, or I don't know. Do you have a name for this?
Oh, it's just going to be a Santa Fe, the old Santa Fe lettering. I don't know. I really haven't thought about the lettering.
So
Other than
Santa Fe.
Yeah, this will probably be Santa Fe, the old 1800s.
ATSF.
Yeah, or I may just put with the fancy graphics on it and put number 21 on there. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that would look good with just a large number on it.
Yeah.
You can put Santa Fe on your caboose.
Yeah.
I think Steve has Santa Fe tattooed on his caboose.
I do.
Well, you definitely aren't going to put CSX on there.
No, or BNSF.
Yeah.
But yeah, this bracket.
So Bill, did you get that other box in yet?
I got the other box, so I'll show you what my wild spendings were. Didn't do a whole lot else this week. The box ended up coming in Monday, so I'll show you my pile.
Must be from Caboose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of this over here.
What?
Good Lord.
I cleaned them out of all of the ON30 stuff that they had.
That's all Spectrum stuff.
Well, yeah, this is all Bachmann Spectrum. So this is all the ON30. That Bachmann Spectrum, I don't know the history, but most of the ON30 that you can buy that's commercial is Bachmann. There's other companies that do ON30 stuff and stuff to convert stuff into other things. But I spent a chunk of change on all of this. But from it, here's a DCC 460 that's got sound in it. A little Porter engine, DCC with sound. I got another one of those rail bus sets. Last time I was talking that the green one I had didn't work. This one I've already put on the layout, and this one works fine. So this one operates well on my layout. The other one, the gears are stripped, coming off the motor somewhere. I got to tear it apart yet. I got that, straight DC. This is 440 American. Then here's a 2442. So an articulated. I've already got one of these, but now I've got another. Over in here, if I can get the lid off, a little.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I haven't run any of these yet. The only ones that I've run have been the rail bus. And that, like I said, that one works nice. Here, still in factory wrap, is a DC Shay. So
wow.
I've got,
nice.
And I've got, I think, a decoder that came with the other Shay that I bought that had sound because it had a decoder in it separate. I think that they took out of it as part of the spare parts. I'm going to make this hopefully a DCC.
So was this from a collection, or this is just old stock on their shelf?
Old stock on their shelf. Some of it I think they got from a collection as well. And, I bought the rail bus set when I was there, and it was a really good price. And then just that little voice in the back of my head said, buy, buy, buy. And
now, here's a question, Bill.
I got, all of the, almost all of this is unopened stuff. So I've got, Hygon side 2-car sets. I got multiples of those, skeleton cars for logging, camp cars, Denver and Rio Grande Western passenger cars. I got a couple of those. I've got some Pennsylvania narrow gauge stuff in here. So all kinds of stuff to keep me busy. Then on one of their Wednesday shows, and I got this too, an O-scale cooling tower kit, Craftsman kit.
Oh, cool.
This will never go on my layout that I have currently because there's no place for it. It's like 16 inches tall.
Right.
But I will build it at some point in time. And if nothing else, just put it up in my office for display.
Yeah.
And who knows, in the future, maybe I'll get another place with a basement and I can have my dream layouts all down in there. And then this can find a home.
I was just going to say, you need a bigger O-scale layout.
I do. I've got... And what's funny is that right in here, a lot of this stuff that's down here, this is O-scale kits that I've bought that I haven't put together yet. They're, old kits, newer kits, different stuff that's O-scale. So I've got plenty of things. And I've got like that O-scale water tower kit. When I had the little, hey, do I do the square one? Do I do the round one? I've got that. I've got a bunch of stuff.
Bill, you just got to get rid of the N scale and the H out.
That ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll show you just one more quick thing. I showed last week I was working on a tree again. So I got the tree done, and each time I do these, I revise ever so slightly my technique to get a better looking tree. So I like how this is. Again, it's that grapevine wire with florist wire on to build the limbs. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take on my HO scale layout and all of these commercial taller pine trees that I've got, I don't have many, but I'm going to scratch build trees and pull all those and put scratch built trees in the same spot. I've got maybe about 15, maybe 20 at the most, probably less. So I'll have all scratch built big trees on this when I'm done. And then you can't see it, but I've got a pile of lumber under the O-scale layout right now so that I can, once it gets cooler, I can start doing up there. So I'm getting my materials. So just odds and ends of stuff for me here, but still having fun out in the garage while it's not too hot.
Okay, so Bill, when that last box showed up at your doorstep, how bad was the wife's eye roll?
She is agreeable that we need a bigger house, or I could rent a storage unit and put my trains there. But I tell her, there's no electricity, so I can't run them. So, she's the kind of mom that when the boy does go off to college in a year, she's going to want to follow and hide behind trees, make sure he's doing okay. So we could end up moving someplace. If we do, I'm going to get a place with a basement. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, you definitely need a basement or a big building out back of the house or something that you can put in.
Something like that. And I won't be able to due to the zoning restrictions here.
Yeah.
Then the only other thing that I did this past week is I don't know how many of you get those little email notices from like Micromark. Sign up on their sheet. Well, I got one that said they were having a big sale, so I jumped on just to kind of look, and they actually had some good stuff. So I've got like a little battery operated grinder that came with diamond bit attachments, two batteries for that, a battery operated Dremel type tool. I've got it charging over here. This was like $6 or $7.
Let us know how they are.
Huh?
Let us know how they are.
So far, I'm liking. I've got some kits that I'm going to be building this weekend and doing some stuff. So I'll try this little jobby. And then this guy, I know this guy works. I've charged the battery enough and I've plugged it in or turned it on. But, battery operated, that works. I got some micro screwdriver sets and some little aluminum storage for like little small nuts, bolts, and screws. But I spent like $20 and then a few bucks more for shipping. It was a really good sale. I hadn't bought anything from them for a while, but for the price, I'm not going to complain. Clearance, it was about 75-80% off. I'm cheap. I'm a happy camper.
Digger has an answer to your problem. The wife could get the storage unit for her stuff.
Yeah. Well,
good luck with that.
She could. She already knows, and she's already been joking when the boy goes to college that I'm going to take over his room for trains. And it's like, no, we're going to move into his room, and I'm going to take over our room for trains because it's bigger.
Because it's bigger, yeah. Yeah, I know how all that is, but you got to keep the spouse happy while you're doing it. Otherwise,
she is extremely tolerant of the hobby. You know, because like we've talked, if she doesn't find me in the house, she knows where I'm at.
Yeah, exactly. When
he's not out in the street scoring drugs.
Yeah, you know, I might be in the backyard, but 99% of the time, all she's got to do is open the garage door from the house, and she's going to see my fat butt sitting right here at this little workbench or somewhere around the train.
Any of your neighbors like come by and check out what you're doing?
Once in a while. I've had a few that have walked by, and at the time when I've had the garage door open, and they pop in and really ooh and ah. Usually the ones that ooh and ah are, you know, workers. Like we had the house power wash this week, and I had to go out through the garage, and the guy was like, just, you know, and, you know, he took some pictures to send to his dad because his dad was into model trains. And, you know, we've had other delivery guys that have just, you know, really, we've had some good conversations for a while.
Yeah, when we get the air conditioning serviced twice a year, the ladder up, because the units are up in the attic, and so the way to get up there is in the train room. In fact, I had to put in a attic stair, nice wide attic stair, because I was getting ready to put the layout in, and the hole I had to get in the attic was right over where I was going to put the train. So I had to move that, but I get the same thing. I don't tell them it's there, and then I just tell them, oh, the ladder's in here, and then I show them where it is, and I flip the light on, and they go, oh! So that's kind of satisfying when you get that response.
Yeah, it is.
I bet.
I was going to say something else, and I forgot what it was.
So, like, none of the little neighborhood kids come over, check your layout, and get, like, you know, they
don't really have that many little ones in this neighborhood. We're on a sort of a short cul-de-sac.
Okay.
And, you know, there's a few kids, but not very many. You go another street over, and, you know, Halloween, it's like crazy time over there with all the kids, and this street is dead. So it's just, you know, location.
Yeah, John 26:18 tells me about this little neighbor boy comes over from across the street to check out his trains, and he really likes to see them.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. I used to get that when I was doing the airplanes, because I'd take them out sometimes and test the engines out in the front yard.
Yeah.
And of course that gets some attention if there's anybody out there.
Bit of noise.
But with the train, they don't know I've got it. So and my mailman knows I've got it, and then the air conditioning guys know I got it.
But you could get like a realistic sound system with a true horn, you know, and just put it up in your attic, and when you're running, you know, toot toot, that would get some attention.
Oh yeah. Get the HOA on me.
Alex with his wife would like that though.
Yeah. Actually, at our open day, you should see the kids' faces light up when I'm running my little black steam locomotive around the layout, and I'm standing at the other end of the layout with my Wi-Fi controller, and I press the horn whistle as it comes past the little kids, and they go, "Oh my God, it makes a sound!"
Yeah.
And the faces just light up.
Yeah,
it's great.
Awesome, right?
And they don't know that I'm standing at the other end pressing the horn button. As it comes past them.
Well, that's one of my favorite things to do going to a train show, is to watch the reaction of the younger kids, you know, and then the adults, and then the parents. You know, their parents know it's a layout and stuff, but then they see something that they weren't expecting, and that kind of stuff's fun to watch their reactions to that stuff. But
yeah, I know when I took the O scale to the Richmond Greenberg train show, you know, the adults, it was fun to watch them, like you said, but the kids, you know, the train pops out of a tunnel and their little eyes just that's what's fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of, when's your next train show?
I have no idea. I've got to look. I have found a trailer that I'm going to be looking at some point in the next couple of months. That's
cool.
You know, it's got the sort of like what the landscape contractors use, so that the door folds down into a gentle. And I've looked, and there's a dealer that has them around here where the door height is 6.5 feet tall. And I know that the layout is just a hair over 6 feet because I had to twist it to get it under a 6-foot door. So a 6.5 opening, a gentle ramp. I can easily get these things into probably a 14-foot trailer is what I'm thinking I'll ultimately need. That I can get the stuff in, have it cushioned, braced up, and put the totes things in. But they're about, the one I was looking at was online anyway, is about $7,000.
Yeah.
I'll bite the bullet, but not right now. We've got a family trip. We're going to Japan here in a couple of weeks for a couple of weeks. Oh yeah, I'm going to go to Kato, their hobby store in Tokyo. It's like a 2-story hobby shop. I'm going to go have some fun. I'll definitely be doing some video and stuff, but that's still a ways down the road.
And now, Bill, how many of your layouts could you get them all?
In a trailer, I can get one layout at a time in a trailer, but I could get, and I've already, how the wheels spin in the head. I'm going to build another HO section to finish off my original 3-section intent with this. But I've already got in my head a plan on if I wanted to take the HO scale to a show. I know how I would build my supports to just kind of fit into a trailer, bring in the pieces, stack them so that I could take the HO to a show as well. The end scale, I could probably do it. It's 15 feet. If I had a 16-foot trailer, I could get it in. So 14, probably not. But the end scale can come apart too, but I have to cut the track. So that's like a one-time move thing for it. But the HO is portable. HO could go to shows just as easily as the O scale.
One word of caution: when you get the trailer with the ramp, and that is the way to go. I had one like that, but buy either some pool noodles, or I just use the foam pipe insulation, condensate insulation that's already slit, and slide over the wires the cables coming out so you don't trip over them. Yeah. Because if you don't do that, you won't see those and you will trip.
I have no doubt. Yeah. The Scouts, the troop that my kid goes to, they've got one of those trailers. So, I've been watching it when they go camping and loading it. Yeah, I've seen Scouts do that very same thing, just kind of flying.
Doesn't matter how short a time you got that down, put those on there as soon as you pull the door down. Because it will save you. It will save you falling and hurting yourself.
Yeah, I believe it.
Oh, well, we got any more questions here from the chat? We still got about eight or so minutes.
Are they still talking football?
Oh no.
No, they're not talking football. I'm trying to see if there's any questions up here that I missed.
I'm not seeing it. Let's see. No, I don't see any.
Wilmer just says he loves Bill's layouts.
Thank you.
Yes, I do too.
I think everybody does.
I like everybody's layout.
Everybody's layouts are fun.
Yeah, I mean, they're all different. They're
all built for a vision that each individual has.
Yeah. Well, they're kind of like a painting or even a story that you might write about something that but you're right, it's all individual, and too many people, I think, don't take it that way. The ones that are building it, sometimes they don't think that way. They think, well, I got to build it for so everybody else likes it. Well, you don't. Just build it so you like it.
Yep.
Hey, Jerry,
what about everybody else?
Layout that you were doing a while back?
Say again?
Well, what about your layout that you were doing a while back? You still have that?
Yeah, I still have it. Yeah.
Okay.
Haven't worked on it. It's, I don't know. Kind of, I'm at a point where like I need to do something and I don't want to do it. There's like this kink in my track in this little spot, and I have a problem with one locomotive. And I know that kink is there, and I just, I need to take it out, and I don't want to take it out.
I know the feeling, but that's something too, because I used to and I still do it with the train even, but when I was doing airplanes and stuff, I'd go out to build on it and say, I need to go get, work on this because I need to get it ready for a fly-in or whatever. And I'd get out there and I'd be out there 2 minutes staring at it going, I don't feel like working on it today. And so I turn around and leave, because if I worked on it when I don't feel like working on it, because they're with the RC airplanes, especially the big ones I was making, if something goes wrong in the air, it can be dangerous, highly dangerous. Train, not so much, but it's still the same thing. If I'll go up there thinking I'm going to work on it, or go outside to work on it, finish a kid or do something, and then I'll get out there and go, I don't feel like doing this today. And so
you've got to be
go do something else.
Yeah.
So you have to, or for me, I have to want to be there and want to be working on it. Otherwise, I won't do a good job.
I guess where I went wrong with mine was I was in such a hurry, like, to ballast it and all, like, complete my track in that sense, that it's just a tiny little section, literally, right? But I'm like dreading tearing it all, like that little section, out to fix it. It's like I don't want to disturb what's there, but and I mean, I can leave it and live with it, or
I've already seen stuff on my layout that's finished, basically finished as far as track work and stuff.
Right.
I keep thinking, I need to tear that out and change that. I put one set of crossovers on the dual gauge, and I should have put them. I don't remember if they're left. I think they're left hand. It's a left hand crossover. It needed to be a right hand crossover. I've got a right hand crossover further back, further around that I can use, but that one right there, I should have done the other direction. And there again, I don't want to tear it out, because that'll be some work to do it. It's not that it's not doable. It's just I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving it alone for now. Now, one day I'll probably end up tearing it out. But
one day.
Who knows?
When it gets annoying enough.
Say again, Steve?
When it gets annoying enough.
Oh, when I figure out it's not working right, not doing what I need it to do. It's actually, I think it's probably more of a redundant crossover, because I've got one at both ends of coming into the yard on the standard gauge. So I can use those. I don't really need that one. And I stuck it in there more for looks than anything else at the time. And if it's going to be there, it would be better to be a right-hand crossover as a left-hand crossover. But there again, I probably won't ever use it.
Yeah, it's those little things that,
Oh, you see after the fact.
Yeah, you're bent on doing it, but then after you do it, it's like, I didn't need to do that.
I do that a lot.
Made it worse.
Yeah, I think, this will be cool. And then I'm halfway through it going, I shouldn't even have started this mess.
Yeah, Jack said, take the most. That's what it is. I bought this engine, and it's a Rock Island GP38, and I love the engine, right? It runs good, except that one spot. It just keeps jumping, and it's a little kink right before my turnout. It keeps jumping right there, and sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. But I know that's the problem right there.
What about the gauge?
Well, I put a gauge checker on it, and it's fine, but I can see visually that there's just this little kink there. That's just
with a small file and just.
Yeah, I could try that. Yeah, maybe I'll try that before I rip stuff out.
Well, the trick is watch. Is it a steam locomotive?
No, it's a GP38.
Okay. I was going to say, if you had a steam locomotive that had a pilot truck on it,
yeah,
a lot of times on the models, a pilot truck is so lightweight, it'll jump a lot of stuff because it's so light, and that'll a lot of times will tell you right where the problem is. Otherwise it gets a little tough. Now I keep trucks, HL and a narrow gauge both, where I could roll just the truck over them, and a lot of times they'll jump because they're so lightweight. But you can feel it a lot of times too. Put your finger on it, run the truck back and forth over the rail, and you can tell right where the kink is.
Yeah, that's
where your trouble spot is a lot of times.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
But yeah, check width on it. Most of the time it's not too narrow, it's too wide.
Yeah.
That's why it jumps. One wheel will fall off inside or something.
Right.
Is what I found. But it could be the other way around too. It could be too tight.
Yeah.
Popping off.
Yeah, maybe I'll get encouraged.
Yeah. Inspired.
Oh, Wilmer says he started doing operations on his layout. He's finding every flaw in the truck work. Yeah, Wilmer, I'm probably going to be right behind you because when I get this upper deck in, I'll start running trains while I'm doing the rest of the detailing and scenery and stuff. And I'm sure I'm going to find stuff that I don't know of yet. I know a couple places that I may have a problem, but I'm not going to do anything until I get the running trains all the time on it. So
yeah,
and then if it becomes a problem, then I'll deal with it. All righty, guys. Well, that's our
over time.
For coming by today, and
thanks everybody
for dropping in, Bill, Steve, and Jerry.
Allie.
And you guys have a good weekend, rest of the weekend, and a good week, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
See you guys.
Good.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.